Sir Keir Starmer doesn't even want to call it illegal immigration. How can we trust this man to stop the boats if he won't even name the problem? Here he is today in Germany alongside another deeply unpopular leader, Olaf Scholz, finally taking a question on Britain's border crisis.
And I said before the election that I would invest political capital in making sure we could work more effectively with our partners in taking down those gangs. And that's why I'm very pleased today that we've had a substantive discussion, agreed to a joint action plan. That is the way to take effective action in relation to the vile trade that sits beneath irregular migration across Europe.
Do you clock that? It's irregular migration now. Well, we've actually had a large number of irregulars arrive in the last 2 days, haven't we? Almost 1,000 people will have come across the channel in that time alone, in the last 2 days. That brings the total for the year to more than 20,000. Not only is there still no head of border command, behind the scenes, we have the Chuckle brothers running the show. Simon Ridley leading our Civil Services Migration and Borders Disaster and Permanent Secretary to the Home Office, Matthew Rycroft. Shall we remind ourselves of these two, OK? They decided that it was great for the taxpayer to fork out for 5,000 empty hotel beds just in case illegal immigrants needed them.
Secondly, we're making sure we've got a buffer of as close to 5,000 beds as we can have, so that we've always got an outflow. So we're carrying a large number of empty beds in order to let us move people out.
Brilliant. Unbelievably, Matthew Rycroft was given a £30,000 bonus on top of his £190,000 a year salary, despite presiding over the biggest calamity in modern British history. If he had any sense of self-worth whatsoever, he would hand that money back. It's your money, that, at the end of the day. The Prime Minister says a deal with Germany might take about 6 months, OK? Well, he can't even bring himself to call people illegal immigrants anymore. He refused to take GB News' question about it in the Downing Street Rose Garden yesterday, and all he can do is talk about the far right. More on that later, by the way. It's about 10:30. At the same time, though, he's telling us stuff like this.
There is a budget coming in October, and it's going to be painful. Those with the broadest shoulders should bear the heavier burden.
Well, this has led to memes online like this. There we are, pensioners making sure they won't freeze this winter. There's a load of old ladies in a boat coming across the channel. That hilariously suggests, doesn't it, that pensioners are better off coming across to the UK in a small boat, so that they are actually cared for this winter after Starmer stopped their winter fuel payments. Look, hey, when you look at your tax bill every month or every year, I think you have the right to ask, what the heck am I paying for? Let's get our thoughts from our panel this evening. It's writer and broadcaster Nina Mishkov. We've also got director of the Popular Conservatives, Mark Littlewood, and we have businessman and activist Adam Brooks. Mark, I will start with you on this. Now, this phrasing now, gone from illegal to irregular, really. Not all the time, but he's rolling the wicket for it. In fact, Cooper's done the same thing. Do you think that's important in terms of trying to get into the public psyche about who these people are?
Yes, it is. Look, he's misusing language here. There are three different things that we should look at. One is asylum seekers. These are people who claim to be fleeing for their lives and can't be sent home for risk of torture or murder or whatever. That's one category. Another category are migrants who go through the normal process and say, you know, I want to come here and work as a hedge fund manager or as a brain surgeon or as whatever it might be, a footballer, fill in the forms. That's legal migration. And then there is a vast swathe of people who are not seeking asylum, not going through the normal route, and that is illegal migration. It is also irregular, I suppose, but he's suggesting that means it's unusual. It's not unusual, it's common and illegal. And frankly, with him, look, I've got no problem with the Prime Minister meeting the German Chancellor. Great, they're an important ally. But I've not understood anything that has come out of this discussion that's actually going to improve matters. I mean, we just heard a whole load of word salad from Keir Starmer, basically. What is the specific proposal that comes out of Anglo-German relations that is going to make it easier tomorrow to tackle this problem than yesterday?
Nina, they are illegal migrants, aren't they?
Well, they're illegal migrants, but are they regular migrants? No. So they are irregular migrants. It's just pure semantics. And another word we haven't heard for a long time is refugees. Because there are people who are
asylum seekers.
Yeah, asylum seekers. They are refugees, and nobody can deny their right to find a place of shelter.
Well, loads of people can deny their right to find a place of shelter because loads of people don't think they're telling the truth.
Well,
I don't think a lot of them are telling the truth.
Well, you can say that, but then by definition there must be people who are telling the truth.
Yeah.
There are people who are fleeing dreadful situations.
You'd agree with me, Nina. There are those who are seeking asylum status. Yes. There are those who come here through the normal process, legally, and then there's a batch of people who aren't seeking asylum but still come to these shores.
Why are we discussing words and semantics? Why do we no longer call them refugees?
Well, I'm happy to call them refugees.
Yes, they are.
Fine. Yeah, same as asylum seeker.
Because we are more attuned to look more kindly on a refugee.
Yeah, but that's exactly my point, Nina.
Which is understanding their plight and where they come from.
Genuine refugees, though. And I'm sorry, but a load of people...
How do you know that?
Well, because, Nina, we don't know who half of them are. We've got loads of them get rejected at the first, the second, the third time, and then they end up getting allowed to stay.
Send those home, but there are
they don't
over 50% of them. Over 50% of them are given refuge.
Okay.
More than
all right. And Adam, you know, when you look at your tax bill, right, and you see this now, and you think, you know, however much we're paying every single day for this, our taxes are all going up, the winter fuel payments going for some elderly people, etc. You know, you've got Prime Minister there who's really doing his best to now change the optics on this and call it irregular and not illegal, a softening of the stance there. You know, do you think the social contract has been broken here when it comes to tax?
Of course it is. These MPs are not listening to normal, everyday people. People like me, people that are struggling. We've got pensioners that could starve and freeze to death this winter because they can't afford to heat their homes or buy food. Yet you've got people that are simply economic migrants. Let's not lie and say these are all refugees and asylum seekers.
I'm saying they're all
not
refugees. Some are economic migrants.
These men, 20 to 30-year-old men, coming over on dinghies, first thing, they get put in a hotel, a heated room. They get fed 3 times a day. They get local travel. If their teeth are dodgy, they get a dentist. They get to see a doctor. These poor pensioners now. Right? This Labour government is a disgrace. The Tories were a disgrace as well.
Well, none of the Tories. We've got to be very honest about it.
We're only 6 weeks into the Labour government. The number, the 20,000 that have arrived this year, the bulk of them came under Tories. It's nothing to do with Keir Starmer and the Labour government.
Let's remember, and the viewers need to know this. We have got warring factions in Calais from Eritrea, from Sudan. Right? Yeah. They are stabbing each other to death in these Calais camps. They're on the next boat over here. We don't know their histories.
Hang on, you said...
Hold on. Yes, this is the... Hold on, Nina, I'm talking.
They're saying they're all stabbing each other. They're not.
Nina.
How many deaths have there been? How many deaths have there been in the Calais camps recently? Give me figures.
I'm going to put this back to you.
Give me figures.
Do not know... No, I'm not going to give you figures.
Because you don't have them. You're just saying...
Nina, we have got people who are... No, they are...
Can
I speak, please?
The facts are bad enough.
Okay. We have got people that throw their ID, that lie from what country they are coming for, because they describe this country as El Dorado. If you go and interview, we've had people from here interview them in the Calais camps. They call us El Dorado because they think they're going to get a free house. They think they're going to get free everything. But one thing, I've got one message to say to Keir Starmer and this government. Normal, everyday people have had enough. We're not the far right.
You're right. And going to what Nina said, it is fair to say that the government has been in office for under 2 months. You wouldn't necessarily expect any results yet. But I think over those 2 months, we can therefore only judge them on what they say. We wouldn't expect any spectacular results in under 2 months. But what they've said leaves me rather cold. It doesn't seem to me they're going to get to grips with this problem. One thing that they promised to do was to appoint a new head of border force. That still hasn't taken place. How long is that going to be? Another month or so? What is the language that they are communicating about this? Rather disappointing. I'll give them another few months to see if anything happens, but early doors it does not look promising, Patrick.
Usually a Prime Minister or a President is given 100 days before they're proper...
Well, he's more than halfway through.
And look what he's done in those 50 days.
No, he's not more than halfway through.
It's 100 days, he is.
He's not. 6 7s are 42, aren't they? He's been in power for 6 weeks.
No, he's been more than 50 days now. Okay. He's more than halfway through.
All right, halfway through, I give you that. But the thing is, You've got to allow them to get to grips with it. This has been 14 years of disaster, you know. And let's face it, Brexit has had a lot to do with immigration. Okay. Wait.
Under the Dublin Agreement, we returned hardly anyone. So please, let's not lie about the Dublin Agreement.
I'm not talking about that. Did I mention the Dublin Agreement? No.
But that's what many people do.
Well, stop.
Okay. Nelia, we'll come back in 50 days and see if they've made any more progress than they did in the first 50.
What I'm about to say.
That is the argument that many people put with Brexit.
Fine,
so I countered it.
Okay.
Don't.
Make your point.
May I make my point?
Of course, yeah.
How many people arrived in this country on boats in 2019?
This is such a stupid argument from
give me the
people
answer.
from the Remain. We've now got a global immigration problem. We didn't have that in 2019.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter?
Give me the answer.
Why has Germany got record amount of immigrants?
Give me the answer.
Why have Germany got record amount of immigrants?
Give me the answer.
It's nothing to do with Brexit.
Give me the answer.
I'll give you the... Let me speak. So why have EU countries got the same problem? How is that Brexit? Don't be so ridiculous.
Just answer me a simple...
A number of thousands.
The point that you're trying to make, which is that Brexit is to blame for the Chinese...
No. I'm saying Brexit is a factor.
Why?
Because in 2019, the number of people who arrived here in boats was 1,880.
Because there wasn't a global problem.
There was a global problem.
Why did it become easy? Why did it become easier to get in after Brexit? What's the rationale there?
Well, because our relationship with Europe so deteriorated that there was not the cooperation. Why do you think Keir Starmer is in Germany talking to Olaf? Why do you think he's in Macron?
Because it's a PR exercise.
It's not a PR exercise. He is trying to solve the problem.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to put a pin in this.
You have just shown
no big agreement so far.
OK, all right, OK. Well, look, when we do come back, actually, at 10:30, there'll be a lot more to go at, because it ties in quite a lot with what we were just talking about there, and certainly in terms of Keir Starmer's rhetoric towards the quote-unquote far right.